Hey, what's happening, gamers? Welcome to another Arkham Wednesday on Thursday. Apparently Magpie didn't go over very well, so we are benching the great topics I had, like Killer Moth, the Quilt Guy, the Idiot, and Thorn for now. Instead, for this week, I had to think about the other guy, the Quilt. Pfft. Anyway, we're focusing on Prometheus, a villain who is the exact opposite of Batman, and has been teased throughout the Arkham games, minus this one. No love for Prometheus in Origins, folks. Which is funny considering his most wanted poster appears in the old GCPD building along with a police report on his parents' murder. I guess they just really didn't want to include it. Either that or they really weren't paying attention to all the great stuff that was in Arkham City and Arkham Asylum. Which is one of the reasons why, again, I refuse to consider this game canon. Because Origins just has way too many failed storytelling elements. Way too many. Actually, I could write a book on it. Don't tempt me, folks, because it could happen. Now, the character was first a random bad guy for the new Teen Titans, often confused with Dr. Light, and was created by Marv Wolfman. His second introduction into the DC Universe is thanks to Grant Morrison in 1998. Ah, there's a name you recognize, don't you? Of course you do, comic reader. At least I hope you've been reading comics. It's not necessary to watch this, but you probably should. Because that's who we're going to be talking about mostly, the Morrison Prometheus. Now, the villain shared a beginning much like that of Batman, though instead of his parents being killed by, of course, the tragedy of crime, which is a very compelling origin story, Promo's folks were killed by law enforcement officers protecting the innocent, doing their job, so yeah. See, Prometheus' parents were criminals, and essentially Bonnie and Clyde. Now, one day while out and about, possibly coming back from a job or seeing a film, the family was surrounded by the FBI and local authorities. A deadly gun battle ensued, and Prometheus' parents fell before the unnamed child's very eyes. I mean, they're already bad parents because they didn't give their child a name. He's just unnamed child. Still, the shock was so great that Prometheus' hair turned white. Time out, though, for a sec, because people are probably going to be confused about this. There's really no scientific proof for trauma so great that it can turn a person's hair gray or white, overnight, mind you. Now, myth suggests that Marie Antoinette, the night before her execution, her hair turned stark white, before going to that place. Not that we can fact-check that or anything. Einstein, though, during his 30s, due to an illness, in probably only a few years, his hair changed to white, which people saw that happen. But if a person was really in that much shock of seeing their parents killed before them or any type of tragedy, a heart attack or stroke is more likely to occur than, say, your hair changing its pigment overnight. That just doesn't happen. After a few weeks due to stress, though, your hair could totally fall out, though, but you don't want that to happen. Again, there really isn't any modern cases of this happening where a person's hair turns white from a tragedy. Unless, of course, you have an autoimmune disease, then that's very possible, but it would be over time. Since this unnamed brat most likely doesn't have any physical ailments or diseases, we're gonna chalk this one up as fiction. So there you go. Well, actually, covering this whole fictional character is kind of pointless anyway, but never mind. Back to the story. Don't mind my rambling. Okay, so where was it? Oh, Prometheus, that's it. He was left an orphan like Saturday morning cartoons and became obsessed with getting revenge on all of the good guys in the world. He left his hometown and picked up his family's vast fortune from different hideouts scattered all over America. Though how an 8-year-old was managed to collect all this stuff, I have no idea. Don't ask. I don't want to know. Up until his teen years, though, he lived pretty comfortably, doing whatever he wanted in the lap of luxury. Occasionally, he would commit petty crimes because, it's in his blood, I guess. I don't know. It wasn't until he was 16 years old that he decided to take over the family business. Yeah. But first he would need to do some training, just like Batman, except in reverse. Prometheus traveled to Brazil, where he learned how to fight, followed by joining some mercenaries in Africa to learn how to use guns and other weaponry. And lastly, he stayed in the Middle East for some time until he mastered many different languages and could speak them fluently. So, at least he was learning some stuff. Now, while challenging his endurance by rock climbing in the Himalayas for some reason, I don't know why he was there, maybe it was a hobby, I don't know, he came across a bunch of monks, because that's where monks live. Unlike Bruce Wayne's training, though, and this is important, these monks are bad guys. Also, has nothing to do with the League of Shadows or assassins teaching Wayne to fight, because that isn't canon. That's a Nolan Universe thing, and it's no relevance to this, okay? So don't make that comparison, because the comics and movies mostly are separate. Oh, curse you, New 52. Anyway, these super evil monks turned out to be aliens. Who knew? After getting in good with the visitors from another world, Prometheus learned all about their secrets and about the Ghost or Phantom Zone. Come on, Superman fans, help me out, you know what that is. Because he had poor manners, though, Prometheus killed most of the aliens he met, stole their technology, and the key to the cosmos, or cosmic key, that controlled the Phantom Zone and let him teleport and do other things. Once inside the Phantom Zone, he basically used all the universe's knowledge to become the ultimate fighter or bad guy. He's like the ultimate MMA fighter or something. After using the cosmic key, he actually lived inside the Phantom Zone, which is a bit crazy because the Phantom Zone's kind of like this prison. I mean, it's not really the best place to put real estate, but I don't know what's up with this guy. He decided to build his house at an angle too, you know, because he's crooked like that. Actually, many DC villains refer to Promo's pad as the crooked house for the crooked man. You see, I wasn't just dropping bad puns, though it was punny, wasn't it? Yeah, you guys. Anyway, by incorporating the alien tech, Promo created a bad guy costume laced with advanced alien technology. Even his helmet lets him pretty much tap into the Matrix at will. You know, so Promo can pull a Neo. I know Kung Fu. Aside from being like a walking Intersect 2.0 minus Chuck's crazy side effects, where he needed a Governator watch to keep from dying. Spoilers for Chuck if you haven't seen it, sorry. Still, when am I gonna get a WB movie with Chuck? It's been like, I don't know how many years, but I'm Chuck deprived, okay? So I'm gonna use Chuck references until it happens. Deal with it! So the helmet is also like a tricked out bat computer too that can pretty much do anything whenever it wants because it's Martian tech. Martian tech can do anything! It also is very hard to disable. The only member of the Justice League to be able to take Prometheus down was the Batman. Though how he did it, I'll save for a bit. In his first outing as a super bad guy, Catwoman defeated him, and it was pretty embarrassing how he got beat. But how Prometheus challenged the world, basically, is he used his super helmet to download who would be the top 8 threats in the DC universe, and Batman was among them. So his plan was to basically hijack the tower, track down Batman, and kill him. But in order to do that, he needed access to the Justice League's watchtower or satellite or whatever. So for some stupid reason, the Justice League of America, which is what they were called in the late 90s, were holding some type of contest where you could be a superhero for a day, kind of like those viral video things. And so this poor kid ends up becoming a superhero for the day, gets invited to the watchtower, and Prometheus follows him and kills the kid, and that's how he gains access to the tower. He plugs in, he becomes Super Prometheus, and everything is doing great until Catwoman somehow beats him. I forget how it happens, but it's totally embarrassing, and Prometheus no longer works by himself. After this incident, he becomes a member of Lex's Injustice Gang. So yeah, he had to become a villain for hire or something. I don't know, maybe his funds got frozen, or his identity got exposed, but I mean, he's an unnamed guy. I mean, it's kind of easy to blend in when you don't have a name. I'm so mean. So he headed to Gotham after he was working for Lex, and he started offing cops. And Batman was not amused by this. What he does to Promo is pretty disturbing, so if you people don't want to hear that, skip ahead with the flashing time code. Okay, so y'all know Batman's like a Boy Scout, and I know we call Superman the Boy Scout, but think about it. Batman is always prepared and has a plan. The only reason he's not really considered a Boy Scout, he's not nice or helpful in any way. So yeah. But since Promo's space helmet could basically learn and repeat anything that alien tech could show him, Bats downloaded a neurological disease that Stephen Hawking has. So, well, use your imagination. Prometheus lost all his motor functions and for a while was drooling in a cup, pretty much like this. So yeah, when the Justice League showed up, they were like, dude, what did you do? And Batman's like, that's what happens when you mess with the law in Gotham. And Superman's like, you're an outlaw. And Batman's like, in a very bad Judge Dredd impression, I am the law. So yeah, but actually no, Batman didn't say anything. I just wanted to do that. He just bat glared at people, and that's all you need to do when you need something done. Bat glare. So while Promo was out of action, I guess you could say, Huntress almost killed him. So Batman had to stop her from finishing the job, and instead of being locked up in Arkham or Blackgate or any earthly prison, Batman and John Jones came to the idea of using a different method, which most of the League was like, whoa, that's messed up. Because it was a Martian method, and whenever you get Martian on somebody, that's when things get freaky. So, okay, we've noticed that Prometheus, he's not a guy that you can just put in an earthly jail, and the Phantom Zone is out of the picture because this is a place the lunatic calls home away from home. So Batman convinces the Martian Manhunter to use his mind powers to trap Prometheus inside of his own memories forever. That's messed up even for Batman methods. That's just, whoa. That just goes way over your head. It's like, can he really do that? Is he that crazy? It's like, yes, he's that insane. Martian Manhunter is reluctant to do this at first, too, but does it because Batman carries around a stick of matches. I'm kidding, he does it willingly. Wink. But seriously, Batman carries around his friend's weaknesses in his utility belt. That's messed up. Good thing I'm a Nightwing fan for life. Because Batman sometimes is just kind of like, what? But on to Prometheus 2 after this commercial break.
In a world where Gotham City is literally falling to pieces and evil is running loose, a hero rises from the shadows to challenge them and change things forever by adding humor. This September, LEGO Batman returns to the K-Wings Let's Play channel. Don't miss this mesmerizing popular series 7 days a week at 4. Good guys wear black, or is it very dark gray?
Alright, so the shameless plug is said and done. Time for you to learn about the second Prometheus, called Chad Graham. Okay, so he stole his gear from his mentor's crooked home and caused trouble for Green Arrow in Star City. Eventually, he makes his way to Gotham and teams up with Hush. During the Heart of Hush storyline, I believe, which was that weird storyline involving Hush's heart having something inside of it. I don't remember what it was, but I know it was weird. Basically, the bromance ended before it could begin between Hush and Prometheus 2 when one of the two accidentally kills Poison Ivy during a process to restore her powers. So yeah, if you read the storyline I previously mentioned for more info, you'll get the gist of that. But basically what happens during this time in Gotham, Ivy is looking after a group of orphans, and she's changed, sort of. I mean, she's not going around killing people, so I mean, I'd call that a good day in Gotham, right? She even had a romance with Bruce Wayne and sought treatment to remove her metahuman powers. Hush, however, needed Ivy to join his Hush gang to go against the Joker and some other people vying for power in Gotham City. Something goes wrong, he tricks her into taking a different plant serum to restore her powers and make her more powerful, and it kills her. Hush and Prometheus 2 have a falling out, and Elliot basically restarts his crusade against the Joker with less people in the Hush gang. But anyway, not long after the Poison Ivy murder, Prometheus ends up being poisoned from hanging around Ivy, which, I mean, he's an idiot. What can I say? It's the same disease that most folks have been getting after the earthquake disaster near Robinson Park in Gotham, which normally only affected children. So I guess it shows you the mental state of Prometheus 2, am I right? In his weakened state, he's taken custody by the Society, who plan to only keep him alive long enough to get control of the Cosmic Key. Being the somewhat wise guy that... No, let's face it, Prometheus 2 is stupid. Having lucked out and hid the key somewhere inside of the Justice Society's headquarters, right under both the noses of the villains and heroes, they don't find the key, but this arc is never closed. It just kind of goes right into Infinite Crisis. And during this time, you can see Prometheus 2 battling in Metropolis, fighting against both good and bad guys. Because, I mean, he's just crazy. You know, he doesn't care who he kills or fights. The only significance to this entire cameo is the fact that he kills somebody called the Peacemaker, and I have no idea what significance that person holds. The only thing I remember about Prometheus 2 is he defeated Lady Shiva in less than 3 seconds. I know, right? But let's face it, he cheated because he used this whole alien space tech thing. And then, of course, he just leaves after beating her and goes work for the Society or something. I guess it was a test. Hey, if you can beat Lady Shiva, you can join our gang, totally. And everybody's just, like, watching on the monitor. This is never going to happen. I mean, look at that. Whoa! You know, I mean, that would be something I would put on my, like, awesome list. I beat Lady Shiva. And now I'm working for this group with Grodd or something. Yeah, it's not all that impressive. He did appear during a Teen Titans storyline, where Prometheus 2 is taken over by one of those Stario aliens, you know, the ones that cover people's faces, and they have, like, just go watch the Justice League episode, or Brave and the Bold, I think they're in that. And, basically, we see, without the use of his space martial arts helmet powers, Tim Drake easily wipes the floor with this guy, and even future Tim Drake Batman, who just kills people, finishes the job out of nowhere, I think. But of course, that all, like, ends up being erased from the space-time continuum and never happened. And Tim Drake Batman, even though very cool and crazy, like Jason Todd and Damian combined, never existed. So this death never happened. Meanwhile, though, after the death of Martian Manhunter at the hands of Libra, I believe, the original Prometheus, who's been trapped in Martian Manhunter's space mind prison thing, comes back to life, or rather wakes out of his very long nightmare. Which, you know, I kind of feel sorry for the guy, but now he's even more crazy, having been locked in Martian jail. And one thing I did learn about this whole thing, in order to stay in Martian psychic mind jail, apparently, folks, the jailer needs to be alive. Learn something new every day in the DC universe, I tell you. Anyway, super ticked that his copycat didn't do a thing to help get out of the League's mind prison and just stole his technology and basically made a fool of the original Prometheus. Prometheus just kills Graham. He doesn't even say anything to him. He's just like, you're dead. You're an idiot. He does this during the Faces of Evil Prometheus storyline, which you guys can find on Amazon or wherever. It's not hard. Might even be digital. Also, it should be noted that Promo 2 is super weak compared to the first nut job. Like, not even a contest. And pretty much any DC Universe hero could beat the second dude, like, before breakfast. I mean, he's terrible. It'd be like me if I found an Iron Man suit or something. You know, I would just not be as good. I would look like the original, but, you know, I'd be smashing into buildings or accidentally shooting missiles at baby carriages. I don't know. But, I will say this. Something that Prometheus 1 thanks Graham for moments before he's, like, dead. He says, you know, because you're an idiot, I have the element of surprise now, so thank you. And now he gets this crazy plan to basically wipe out most of the DC Universe's Earth cities using the Watchtower itself, and the Phantom Zone is kind of like this catalyst to launch all this weird alien tech. It's a pretty good plan. I mean, it shows that this guy is not the original, the idiot Prometheus. This guy means business. You know, he's actually a match for the League and the Green Lanterns and, you know, everything else. The only person who was able to beat him was Batman, and he used a really insane method. So, this Prometheus goes back to action and kills a bunch of reserve League members, and honestly, they're not worth mentioning, to be honest. I mean, they're so-so. His plan is going great, too, until Killer Moth, of all people, who is part of his Prometheus gang, after serious torture from some DC nobodies, I don't remember who they are, I think the Question was one of them or something, he reveals Prometheus's plan and gets word to Dick Grayson, who's Batman, and the leader of the League, with assistance from Donna Troy. They're able to basically track down Prometheus, who is hiding on the Watchtower itself, using an assumed identity, which, the name escapes me, it doesn't matter. So he's not even really in his Prometheus gear at all, if memory serves right. This is a 2009 storyline, by the way. Basically, even though he gets cornered, he still has an ace up his sleeve, and he's able to foil the Justice League. If he isn't allowed to leave, every city that houses any costume hero will be destroyed with alien space orbital tech stuff. Grayson, along with the rest of the League, are dumbfounded and have no choice but to let the bad guy escape. Though, Grayson Batman places a tracking device on Prometheus before he uses his space vanishing thing. So, I mean, at least they can track him down and take him out. Sadly, something goes terribly wrong after Promo leaves, and the space tech pretty much destroys most of Star City, which is Green Arrow's city, by the way. Similar to what happened to Hal Jordan in the 90s, Ollie kind of snaps. He uses Grayson's tracking device and puts an arrow through Prometheus' head to say, "Hey, thanks for destroying my city, you jerk!" Which shocks the League, but not Green Arrow readers. Nothing shocks Green Arrow readers. Not then. Now, as for the Arkham games, how this baddie is viewed, well, his parents were criminals, you know that. They were gunned down by one of Gotham's finest, in front of an 8-year-old boy who has no name. I'm sorry, but that child should have been taken away from that family so long ago because he has no name. The fact the child is nameless, nobody sees that as a problem. I would. Child services, hey, hello. I'd be that police officer. I'd be a hero if I was that cop, Just take that kid in and be like, hey, your name's gonna be Tim, okay? Great, let's go get a Slurpee or something. I'm gonna prevent you from being evil, even though, I had to use lethal force and take down your parents because they were criminals, mind you. They were doing something bad, not jaywalking. Bad people. So anyway, unfortunately, Tim, which we're just gonna call him Tim now, he grew up and became the bad guy version of Batman. He hunted down and murdered tons of police officers for the thrill of it, and thanks to Dini's original ideas and stuff they were gonna use in the animated series and some of the novels, he's given some type of psychological disorder due to the tragic event of seeing his parents killed in front of him. But there's kind of a clash in his mind because his family was doing something wrong during the time of their death. So there's like this, unbalance in the kid's mind. He kind of just snapped. So this Prometheus becomes a crazed serial killer like Mr. Zaz, and pretty much calls Arkham his home away from home. He doesn't really do any space-time traveling freaky stuff, as far as I know, but then again, he's never appeared in an Arkham game other than in wanted posters and info surrounding his origin. So that's pretty much it. We don't know anything. As for the New 52, I haven't really been reading Batman Eternal or anything else, but as far as I know, Prometheus has not shown up yet. So, yeah. And that's it. That's all, ladies and gentlemen. I'd really appreciate it if you would like and share this video all over the interwebs. Show it to your people on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Reddit, Tumblr, and even the Phantom Zone. Of course, if you get reception there. Unless, of course, you want to keep the show a dirty little secret from them. So you can use your nuggets of knowledge to show off to your friends, thinking you're a Batman expert. You're welcome. If you want more Batman, we're currently continuing Lego Batman the video game after a 2-year hiatus. I know, right? It's currently airing every day at 4 p.m. on the K-Wings Let's Play channel. Link is in the description. Anyway, you can of course join me next week for more Arkham It's still Thursday, isn't it? Darn! Sorry I work nights. And with that said, Mr. J, take us away. I'm done.
Well, that's the end of this video. Who's up for Chinese? Seriously though, make sure to like, favorite, and share this delicious video. Unless, of course, you like being wrapped in plastic and left in the gutter. Oops. Sorry, a force of habit.